Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Delmar Caranas, a postgraduate medical intern. I basically provide informative videos to medical students. And also I would like to give aspiring Filipino physicians an idea of what a med student usually tackle in med school. If you find these videos helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And click the notification bell to be updated for my new videos. For today, I'll be discussing the CPC of acute pancreatitis. This is the sudden inflammation of the pancreas in a short period of time. It can range from mild discomfort to a severe life-threatening illness. That is why it's very important for us to understand the pathophysiology of this disease. Here is an overview of RCPC. We'll be discussing this by section. So let's start. Here are the important risk factors to consider. Gallstone and alcohol abuse are the main etiology known for pancreatitis. Also, hypertriglyceridemia, endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography is also implicated in pancreatitis. Certain medications like antiretrovirals can cause pancreatitis and even trauma. This causes an increase in activation of proteolytic enzymes and involving also trypsin in the acinar cells, causing the autodigestion and acinar cell injury. This autodigestion is mediated by activation, chemoattraction, and sequestration by leukocytes and macrophages. Now, this would trigger the intrapancreatic inflammatory reaction, which would cause cell membrane digestion, cell death, and tissue necrosis. This now would result to massive systemic inflammatory response. This massive systemic inflammatory response is responsible for the manifestations in our patient. First is the somatic nerve irritation. Pancreas, being a retroperitoneal organ, would definitely stimulate the somatic nerve. It would now present a sudden, severe epigastric pain radiating to the back. The coagulation necrosis and parenchymal cell necrosis would lead to ileus because the adjacent intestines would also be irritated, and this would be manifested as diminished bowel sounds. The increase in cytokine release would result into the classic presentation of inflammation, such as fever and nausea and vomiting. The fat necrosis would be responsible for the erythematous skin nodules. The intra-abdominal and the interstitial hemorrhage would be responsible for the manifestation of Cullen's sign, which is the hemorrhage found in the periumbilical area. The Great Turner signs is the hemorrhage found at both sides of the flanks. The vasodilatation would be responsible for dehydration relating to hypotension and shock. Now, the increase in intravascular permeability would explain the edema and pleural effusion in our patient. Here now is our reference, Harrison's Principles of Internal Medicine. I would like to end this presentation by leaving you with this message. All the pain will soon be gone. Trust how time heals and restores. Thank you for listening and have a good day.